Number 2, Chapter 7.2, exercises 1 through 11. This set is going to be on multiplying polynomials. I am redoing this video because I have 2 very alert students who caught a mistake I made in this predecessor video. So problem 1 we have, we're going to do the odd numbers problem in this set. We have dimensions for rectangular prism are x plus 5 for the length. I'm drawing out a rectangular prism. And what is a rectangular prism? Well, it's really just a mathematical way of saying a box. So we have this box here whose dimensions are the length of x plus 5, the width of x plus 1, and the height of x. So if we multiply the length times width times height, we get volume. So let's go ahead and multiply first the length and the width together. So length and width is equal to 20x plus 5 times 20x plus 1. And there are different ways of doing this. One thing that has been popular in my class this far is to use the box method. And we have more than one here. If we make a box and separate this box by 2 line segments into 4 cells, we put on the top x plus 5, and on the left we're going to put x plus 1. We just multiply x by x, we get x squared. 5 times x is 5x. 1 times x is x. 5 times 1 is 5. So we have x plus 5x to equal our middle term. So we get x squared plus 6x plus 5. And so that's going to be our length times width. And the last thing we have to do is multiply by our height, which is x. So our volume is going to be equal to x times x cubed with x times x squared equals x cubed. And then x times 6x, which is plus 6x squared. And finally, x times 5, which will be plus 5x. And this is going to be our answer to problem 1. Pretty simple. Next problem we're going to look at is problem 3, which is a trinomial. Kind of a trinomial. Now, one thing you can do is you can just use a distributed property like this with these curved lines, connecting lines. So if you connect x cubed with every term like this, then you can do the same thing with x to the 3x squared. But here's where you get into a bit of problem. And if you do with 1 will look like this. So it gets really busy when you look at it this way. So the box method really helps us to very well graphically organize and minimize our opportunities for mistakes. So if you make a box, it's big enough to have 3 rows and 3 columns. 3 rows for one of the trinomials and 3 columns for the other trinomial. Messy looking there, but anyway, we put on top 3x squared plus 6x minus 2. And on the side, our other trinomials would be x cubed plus 3x squared plus 1. And so x cubed times 3x squared is going to be 3x to the 5th power. Now we have to multiply the numbers together, but add the exponents in these formulas here. Next we have x cubed times 6x, that's going to be 6x to the 4th power. And then the upper right one we have is minus 2, and to x cubed. And our second row is going to be 3x squared times 3x squared, which is going to be x to the fourth power. And then 3x squared times 6x is going to be 18x cubed. And then we have negative 2 times 3x squared, which is minus 6x squared. And then our last row is going to be, we have more multiplied by everything. So we can just copy what's on top here. So we can just copy 3x squared, and then 6x, and negative 2. And then we look for like terms. When you do it this way with the box method, you have your like terms kind of piled off in diagonal arrangements like this. And finally, now it's a little bit off here. This 3x squared goes with this negative 6x squared. Now you can just take these and write the answers out. So that's another good thing about the box method. So the first term in the upper left we have is 3x to the fifth power. And then the fourth power is the next. We have 9 plus 6, or 15x to the fourth power. Then we have, the next thing is third power. We have 18x cubed minus 2x cubed, which will be plus 16x cubed. The next thing we have is squared. We have 3x squared minus 6x squared is going to be minus 3x squared. Then we have plus 6x. And we have one x term, and minus 2. So this is going to be our entire multiplication simplified. Okay, next on the problem, which is 5, we have in this instance a 2 by 3. And again, as I mentioned earlier, we could go like this. Being a 2 by 3, that's really going to be not such a bad way to go. But I'm going to, for consistency's sake, set this up as a box also. The other thing box method does, it really, as I said before, it really checks as you go. So here's 2 rows and 2 rows and 3 columns. We'll put our trinomial on top, which is 3x squared. And then we have negative 4xy. And then we have plus 2y squared. That's our trinomial on top. The binomial on the side, we have 2x and 5y. So now 2x times 3x squared is going to be 6x cubed. Again, multiply the numbers, add the exponents. 2x times negative 4xy is going to be minus 8x squared y. Then we have 2x times 2y squared is going to be 4xy squared. Then 5y times 3x squared is going to be 15. The number is 5 and 15. 15x squared y. Then we have 5y times negative 4xy is going to be minus 20xy squared. And finally, we have 5y times 2y squared is going to be 10y cubed. And we have our like terms arranged in diagonal fashion here. And that being the case, our answer to this multiplication is going to be 6x cubed. And we have 15x squared y minus 8x squared y is going to be plus 7x squared y. Then we have negative 20x squared xy squared plus 4xy squared is going to be minus 16xy squared. And finally, we have plus 10y cubed. That's going to be 5. Make sure everything looks good here. Okay. Okay, next on our problem 7, we have a trinomial by a trinomial. You can just pause the video, see if you can look ahead and see if you get this right. I'm going to go work this out here. Again, a box big enough for you to see polynomials on the top and the left simultaneously. So here we have 2 vertical line segments. So on the top, I'm going to put this 3x squared plus 2x minus 1. And then we have on the left 4x squared, and then 3x, and then 2. And you can just kind of look and see, check to make sure you got these right. I think they're right. So on the upper left, we have the product of 4x squared and 3x squared is going to be 12x to the 4th power. And we have 4x squared times 2x to be 8x cubed. And then negative 1 times 4x squared would be minus 4x squared. And our second row is going to be 3x times 3x squared is 9x cubed. And then 3x times 2x would be 6x squared. And then negative 1 times 3x is minus 3x. And then 2 times 3x squared is 6x squared. And then 2 times 2x is 4x. And finally, 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. And again, I'm circling our like terms. There they are. So our answer here, I'll put an equal sign to the left. We have 12x to the 4th power. And then 9x cubed plus 8x cubed is going to be plus 17x cubed. Now notice we don't have any, we do have some negative signs here. We can get some negatives possibly here, but we don't have them yet. Okay, now we have 6x squared plus 6x squared minus 4x squared. So 6 plus 6 is 12. 12 minus 4 is 8. We have plus 8x squared. And then we have the x terms, 4x minus 3x would be plus x. And the last thing we have is the number, which is minus 2. And so there we have number 7. Okay, next, we're getting these word problems here. We're going here to problem 9, businessman models and providers of thousands can be sold. 2004, and the average price per item. And so what we have is we want to find, to model the total revenue. Well, the number of items times the price is going to equal our revenue. So we can multiply this polynomial here, I want to say trinomial with actually 4 terms, by this binomial here. So we can set up a box that is will be a 4 by 2 box. And here we have 2 rows. These 2 rows represent one for the 0.2x, and just write 0.2x, and this 5 here. And on top, we have room for 4 terms. In this polynomial here, we have negative 0.1 x cubed. Then we have plus x squared. And we have minus 3x and plus 4. And we start multiplying. Well, negative 0.1 times 0.2 is going to be, it's like we move the decimal place to the left. So negative 0.02 x to the 4th power. And then 0.2 times x squared is going to be simply 0.2 x squared. And we have 0.2 times negative 3x. We're going to get negative 0.6 x. Let's see this one here, x cubed. Make sure that this is 0.2 x cubed. Next we have negative 0.6 x squared. That's a good thing about this box method. You really check yourself out. 4 times 0.2x could be 0.8x. And then our bottom row here is going to be 5 times negative 0.1 x cubed is going to be negative 0.5 x cubed. And then we have 5 times x squared is 5 x squared. And we have 5 times 3x is negative 15x. And finally, we have 5 times 4 is 20. And now our like terms here are going to be this negative 0.5x cubed and 0.2x cubed. And then we have the squareds here, 5x squared and minus 0.6x squared, and negative 15x plus 0.8x. So our answer for this is going to be negative 0.02 x to the 4th power. And we have negative 0.5 plus 0.2 is going to be minus 0.3 x cubed. And then we have 5x squared minus 0.6x squared. That's going to simplify to 4.4 x squared. Okay, next we have negative 15 plus 0.8 is going to be minus 14.2 x. And finally, plus 20. And that should be it. Just checking to make sure. It's our answer. Okay, in this set, the last one we're looking at is 11. And we have physics here. It gets pretty big, so I don't really want to do average time, perhaps this whole thing. I'll just show you what's going on. What you have is a lot of things going to multiply and combine. I'm going to try to find an expression for the total kinetic energy, K plus U. And K is equal to 1/2 mv squared, and U, what will do for U, I think, let's put this down here, U is equal to 9.8 m8. And so kind of working to the right, we have 1/2 k is 1/2. M equals 2. So 1/2 times 2. And we have b squared. B is right here, negative 9.8 plus 24 quantity squared. So that's going to be k. The 2 over 2 will cancel. And then mu is going to be 9.8 mh, 9.8, and m is 2. And h is going to be this thing right here, negative 4.9 c squared plus misplaced something here. Go back and fix something for 2014 plus 60. And we're going to multiply all this together and get what u is. Over here, what I did is I omitted this negative 9.8 c plus 24 squared. And then you work this all out, you're going to get, you will get a value here for k and a value for u. And then you will add these two together and you will get, you'll be able to cancel out a bunch of stuff. So you put k plus u, you enter all these things you work out here, and you will simplify to get it. So answer the rest of the questions there. Good luck, and thanks for viewing.